Last one we're going to take is from our patron Felix. He says, where is Casemiro in your all-time Real Madrid defensive midfielder ranking? My favorite moment was when he crushed James Milner for his dirty tackle on Benzema.
This is my main question, and the one we have to answer right now is, how are we ranking this? Legacy, legendary status within the club, quality-wise. If it's quality-wise in terms of peak, Redondo would be my top. Obviously, you can rank him ahead of Casemiro and Makelele and even Xabi Alonso if we're talking about legacy and things achieved in the club. But how are we tackling this, Kian?
I think legacy at Real Madrid is the way you tackle it. And by the way, I think even if you spin it with legacy, I think Redondo still comes out on top. And the reason I say that is, because Redondo himself won 2 Champions League titles. Like, we'll talk about Casemiro winning 5. You can tell me all you want. He was very involved in La Decima. He had a great 20-minute cameo against Borussia Dortmund, but I'm not going to really necessarily put that on his legacy. The other 4, definitely. Redondo winning 2 is really impressive, and I don't want to punish him for not winning 5, because I think if you put Redondo with this team, he would have won 5. And I also think...
Oh, yeah.
And I also think Redondo was with Real Madrid up until the Galacticos came. He was unfortunately not able to partake in playing alongside Figo and Zidane. I think he would have won. He would have had like probably 4 Champions League titles, at least 3, had he been a part of that era. And I also think from a defensive standpoint, the organization he had on the defense, he didn't even have Ramos and Varane behind him. He had really shitty old defenders behind him, with all due respect to the old version of Hierro. And when he was younger, late 90s, okay, you had a better version of Hierro and Sanchez, fine. But like 99, 2000, that team that hobbled to the Champions League title because of him and Raul, basically, and Roberto Carlos McManaman, they had their backline was terrible. So he didn't have like the Ramos and Varane behind him either, or Modric alongside him. So I think even if you spin it with legacy, I think it's unfair to punish Redondo for not winning 5 Champions League titles, because that wasn't his fault. So I have Redondo number 1 either way. Yeah, that's my take.
I'm not as high as you are on Redondo. Even though it's probably competition between him and Casemiro, don't get me wrong. This is what we're talking about. Makelele obviously was crucial for Real Madrid and the Galacticos, so much that the Galacticos didn't win a single thing when he left, pretty much. And Xabi Alonso was so very crucial, obviously, for Madrid. But it's a competition between Redondo and Casemiro. But I think he had a bit more help on the defensive side of things than what you're giving him. I think Hierro was a stronger and a better defender than what you're suggesting, while Redondo was in Madrid. I think the Hierro's decline came a little bit later when Redondo was already gone. My feeling anyway, but it's definitely a competition between those two. And if we're talking about legacy, I probably give it to Casemiro just because of the titles, and him starting in 4 Champions League final was crucial. I have to assume that Real Madrid will still have won the 2 Champions League titles Redondo won with Casemiro on that team. I think I give that to him, and it goes the other way. I think Real Madrid would have won the same Champions League titles with Redondo on the team as Casemiro, so it's close. In terms of pick, I give it to Redondo. I would pick Redondo for a match against a team from an alien team to save the Earth. I would pick Redondo to save humanity from extinction. But in terms of legacy, I probably rank Casemiro a bit higher.
Okay, and then I think either way he's top 2. So I think that answers the question, like, where do you rank him? I think his legacy is ahead of Makelele's. I think you can debate a little bit on who was better at his peak. I think Makelele was a better dribbler and short passer, but Casemiro was a better long-range passer, and he has way more titles. So you can spin that either way, but legacy, obviously Casemiro comes up higher. Then you have Xabi Alonso, who you have to mention. Then you can go into the Vicente Del Bosque, very underrated as a player, very good at the defensive midfield position. So, anyways, but that's the top 3 to 5, and Casemiro's at least top 2, based on how you rank it.
Xabi Alonso was very good during his years in Madrid, during the Mourinho years mainly. I think he was good enough to consider that his peak could probably be along Redondo's. I rank Casemiro in terms of peak. I would probably pick again in this hypothetical match against the aliens to save humanity from extinction. I would probably pick Alonso ahead of Casemiro too. Peak Alonso, obviously.
I would absolutely would. Yeah. There's no question to me. If we're going based on peak, Xabi would too. Which begs the question: is Xabi Alonso underrated in Real Madrid's history? Before that, like we're not even talking about him as a top 2 discussion, because he, at his peak, he could go toe to toe with anyone in midfield. And he didn't get to play the final, but it's not like we coasted to that final. It came down to the 90th minute. I think we could have used him in that game for sure. La Decima year, I feel like he got better almost every year with Real Madrid. And in his final year in La Decima, he was amazing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the top 2, 3, 4, 5. What's up, Madridistas on YouTube? This is Kiyan Subani. I hope you enjoyed that free clip that just went up. What you just heard or listened to or watched was a small clip from a much longer podcast that went up exclusively over on patreon.com/managingmadrid. In fact, not only did we record something on Thursday on Patreon, but also on Tuesday. And also this morning on Friday, Jose Perez and I did a live Zoom call in front of a bunch of patrons. We reacted to the Champions League draw. We analyzed all of Real Madrid's opponents, what you need to know about them, the scouting report. We also took questions. And, over the course of these 3 podcasts, we're talking about over 3 hours of content. And you're just getting a pin-size whole view of the whole thing. So if you're supportive of high-quality journalism, you want something that's less sensationalized, you want to talk about tactics and have deeper analysis, go over to patreon.com/managingmadrid. You pay $3 a month. If you want, you can pledge more and get different rewards, but $3 per month is all it takes to get access to our entire back catalog and everything we're doing. That's all it takes. So that's all, $3. That's all we ask for. And in return, you get exponential return on an investment. You get a ton of bonus content, and you get to be a part of an ever-growing Real Madrid family that is just a beautiful thing to be a part of, and we're really proud of forming here. So thank you for the support. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the inside, and Hala Maria.